Hi, my name is Brendan Hill. I'm here with my aunt that just started her restaurant a couple weeks ago. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. Well, we're going to get right into it. Was it your childhood dream starting a restaurant, or did you want to do something else?
Well, it was always an idea. We never thought it would really actually become a fact. You know, always talking with your grandma, my mother, we always imagined how we would run a restaurant and what we'd serve, how we'd do things, and it strangely became a reality. It's been fun.
So the restaurant's called Omini. What does that mean?
Omini is a formal word for mother. When you are referring to your mother in conversation, or if you're a grown-up, not a child any longer, you would refer to your mother as Omini.
So why would you call it mother?
Mother is a kind of a way for us to remember my mom, your grandma, things she taught us about Korea, and the foods that she taught us how to eat and to love, and sharing the love of her culture and her food with other people. It's symbolic.
Yeah, the family really loves the food.
Yeah, it is somebody, I guess even your mother, Anita Held, who really didn't care for Korean food or spicy food. Anyone who tastes it ends up growing to love it, and we love people who love to share the culture with us and remember our mother.
So what made you want to start the restaurant? Was it the fact of Grandma, or was it something else that...
Probably the base root of it is Grandma, but more than that, I've been seeing some trends. People are really enjoying more spicy food and more cultural influenced foods, and when probably the biggest flag is when people started losing their minds when the sriracha factory closed down a few months ago, started hoarding that. It made me think people are really looking for some new flavors, some more exciting flavors, some more spice, and Technomic reports, as I guess a professional food research company, was saying that Korean foods are trending right now. It's in I guess in the news threads, it's making headlines. So just a lot of flags made me think this is a good time to give it a shot.
So that's the reason why you chose this time, is because all of these people wanting more and more spicy food.
Right, more spicy food, people more open to trying new things and just wanting something new.
So what are your specialties for the restaurant?
Well, our biggest selling dish right now is bibimbap. Bibim means mixed, bap means rice, and that's when you get a bowl and you put some rice in it, top it with a grilled meat of your choice, and then 5 vegetable toppings that we have that are chilled. And some people are a little surprised that they're chilled. You mix it together, the temperature comes down a little bit, but think of it as a grilled hamburger where you put lettuce and tomato and onions and other chilled things on top. It's a convenience food, all the foods you love in one bowl with a special spicy sauce and a soft cooked egg. You break into the egg, mix the sauce, the meats all together, delicious in every bite.
So there's a specialty to what the traditional dishes and stuff like that. There's a way to mix it.
A way to mix it. And people, if you pass up the sauce, you're kind of missing out on the full effect, the full flavor. People might call it bland. It'd be like ordering a salad without salad dressing. So you do want a sauce. If you're afraid of the spice, you shouldn't be. It's not too bad of a spice. It's a smoky, mild, tangy sauce. It's not up on the tip of your tongue. You won't burn your eyes, your ears won't be blowing. It's something you shouldn't be afraid of. Try a little bit, and if you really can't handle that much spice, go with a soy sauce.
Do you recommend it to people when they're in the line, or?
I do. And in fact, last night it was really funny. A woman came in saying how she was very afraid of spice, and she's not very daring, but she was going to try something new, and I recommended the red sauce, and I put a little on the side, and she said, "That's too much." I said, "Just try a little. If you like it, mix it all in, and you'll enjoy it." She called me from the back to show me her bowl was empty. She loved it.
So with starting a restaurant, what was the easiest part of it? I know it's not very easy, but the easiest part to starting the whole thing.
Well, the easiest part, of course, would be the menu, because we grew up with it. That's what our family eats. In fact, the other day, my brother, your Uncle David, was there. It was the first time we had time to actually make ourselves a plate of the food since we started the business. I looked down at it, touched my heart.
So what's the most difficult part of starting the restaurant?
I would say the difficult part is that, all these years forming an idea of what I would want in a restaurant, is that now that I've hired a really good staff, is to let go of my ideas and trust others to do it. We have a wonderful chef, Angela Porter. She actually cooked Korean food at home before she even met me. It was a wonderful coincidence that someone who was interested in working with us celebrates every Christmas with Korean food. And trusting someone to continue the recipes in the style that my mom taught me and your grandma, that's hard to do. So being here and not there, watching things, that's actually hard to let go. But I think I'm learning to, and I'm going to have to.
So do you think Carmel is like the best place for the Korean restaurant, or do you think it could be somewhere else? Like,
It's probably a great starting point, and there's never been a Korean restaurant in our neighborhood where I live in Carmel. There have been Korean people who open restaurants, and they go with sushi and other Pan-Asian restaurants. I think Koreans have been afraid to say we are a Korean restaurant because most people don't know what it is. They ask if is it like Chinese food, is it like Japanese food, and it's really different than either one of those. So fear of the unknown, untested. But I think people have expressed an interest in something different and are ready for it. So I think it's a good starting point.
if you had the possibility of franchising, would you, or?
That's a distant on the horizon kind of perspective. You know, the idea of forming a restaurant all these years, how I would do it, you know, the style I would do it in. Coincidentally, there's a new term called fast casual, and that is also another trigger that made me say it's my time, because they blend perfectly. My idea is how to run a restaurant, just go right in hand with a fast casual is. And a fast casual restaurant is just by nature being streamlined, very efficient with the inventory, with your menu, and that in itself makes it really very easily turned into a franchise. So it's something we'll see, and we got our mind on it, but it's not a goal right now.
That's why your subtitle there is fresh, fast Korean food.
Right, fresh, fast.
Korean
and the
grill.
fast is a little relative to Korean food. Korean food is a sit-down meal, you know, with barbecuing on the table. It's many different dishes. It's never fast, and it's meant to be enjoyed, you know, with family and friends, you know, over a period of time. So fast is relative to Korean food, not to other fast food restaurants. So time-wise, you know, it's a lot faster than traditional Korean meal. It's fresh. You get to pick it right there, and you get to your seat pretty quickly. But we may not be the fastest, but relative to Korean food, it's a fast serve.
So it's nothing like McDonald's, and it's
Right.
got a traditional element to it, right?
Right. It still is traditional, and you know, people compare it to Chipotle. I compare it to Chipotle. And while we want to be fast and help people get through the line, get to lunch, get back to work quickly, we don't want to feel pressured. You know, if you don't understand what a food is, we encourage people to ask. If you want a sample to taste it, we do encourage that. We don't want people to feel pressured to go through the line. Feel free to ask questions and ask for flavors, tastes.
So what is the traditional element to the whole thing? Well, it's, you know, it's more modernized and
Right.
stuff. There's always a traditional element to it.
You know, Korean food traditionally is spicy, but what we have customized is the base is not spicy. People can customize whether they want spice at all or fully loaded, you know, with hot peppers. Kimchi is, you know, traditional dish. It's what Koreans are known for, is a fermented pickled cabbage. You know, and that is an option. So you can go full Korean from beginning to end, load it up, and get all the flavors, all the spice, all the side vegetables you want. Or if you're a little timid and you want just an introductory taste, you can go with a more bland or a less seasoned dish. But what Korean dishes are known for will definitely be the vegetable toppings. And the most notable dish there is the barbecued beef, the Korean bulgogi beef. Not spicy, it's a very good introductory dish for anybody who wants to try something for the first time.
Bulgogi is my personal favorite.
Yes.
The whole dish and stuff like that. I always get that on top of my bibimbap.
Right, double, triple dose.
Yes. So how do you think the family has felt about you starting the restaurant?
Well, it's, of course, very sentimental, right? We're all there together. I can tell you what I felt in the first 2 days after our grand opening is guilt. I look at all the kitchen, and you guys are all toiling away, suffering, and I felt, oh, I've done this. Why did I choose to do this? But on the other hand, just like your dad, John, and David, my other brother, we've never been more closer and spending more time together just as family. Even your mom, Anita, said that she's gotten to know my kids better, Gregory and Julia. So spending a lot of time together would have been just what Grandma would have wanted. So that's the best part of it.
Do you think the family support helps a lot, or?
Oh yeah, I couldn't have gotten through the grand opening without the family. So it's been wonderful. You know, I haven't even really asked. You guys just have all jumped in, and it's been really great. Been great spending time together.
I was working there at the grand opening, and went really smoothly. I loved how it happened, how it flowed, and how you actually were taking on so many tasks, yet you were able to do all of them at once.
Yeah, it was hard. My head was spinning, but another thing that I was really impressed with and surprised with is, family working together is not always a good thing. I've heard scary things about it, and I honestly wasn't sure I wanted to do it, but I think as a team we worked surprisingly well together. We were very efficient, and I didn't see any kind of problems at all. If anything, we were very compatible. Our skills, our talents were went very well, worked very well, and put out good product and was very efficient, and I thought it worked really great.
So do you think Grandma will be proud of you after 2 years of her loss and stuff like that? Do you think she'd be proud of you? And if she was here, do you think she'd help out a lot?
Yes, I do think she'd be very proud. This is something she'd always talked about. She'd be beaming, I think, knowing that we're sharing Korean food with other people, part of her culture. She wanted to make sure we ate it and passed on the next generation, you and your cousins. The fact that you guys all still love it and share part of that culture would make her very proud. If she was still here, she would have been working herself way too hard, and we would have had to physically removed her from the building.
Do you like how it came out, or is there some things you would like to change?
Oh, I am someone who always is fear of regret. That I didn't make the right choice all along. The choice from the decor to the menu to the location to just who we've hired. I can honestly say I have zero regrets. Everything's come out better than I could have imagined. Serendipity or luck or fate or God, has helped me get to this point, and I couldn't be more grateful.
So I have one last question for you, and it's overall, what advice would you give to somebody wanting to start their own restaurant?
Someone wanting to start your own restaurant, I would say, don't be afraid to just go for it. Do your research. I probably researched 5-6 months, to the point of exhaustion. Do your research very well, but don't be afraid to go for it. Do it and have no regrets, but have a backup just in case.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm here with my mother. Hi, Mom.
Hello.
You are a registered nurse. What do you do in your field of work?
Well, I work in a surgery center. I've been a nurse for 19 years. I work with surgical patients. Usually I'm assigned to a room each day that has different types of surgeries. It can be anything from simple procedures like little kids getting tubes in their ears to bigger procedures like people getting hernia repairs or other major surgeries. It can have any number of cases each day in the room, and I take care of the patients that are assigned to me.
Okay, and what made you decide you wanted to be a nurse?
When I went to college back in 1992, I knew I wanted to do something in the medical field. I just didn't know what. So the first thing I decided to try was physical therapy. And about a month into that program, I had a sit down with a counselor, and he told me there's about 400 people that apply for 24 slots. So that really scared me, and so that kind of made me shy away from physical therapy, and I looked at other things. And with the classes that I'd taken that first semester, nursing was the best fit. So that's why I changed my major my first semester to nursing.
So you liked being a nurse more than you being a therapist, like the classes and everything?
The classes, I don't say I want to took the easy way out, but the classes were going to be a little bit easier. It was less math and science and more health and wellness, which I was more excited about.
Oh, okay. And where did you get your degree from? What college did you go to?
I graduated from Indiana University. I have a bachelor's degree in nursing, a bachelor's of science degree in nursing. I went to school for 4 years for my degree. I spent 3 years down in Bloomington and 1 year in Indianapolis at IUPUI.
And then did you have any after school stuff? Did you have to go into training or anything to be a nurse?
After I graduated?
Yeah, after you graduated from college.
You spend pretty much your last 2 years of nursing school, you spend it in what they call clinicals, which is kind of hands-on training. You're assigned to a particular hospital or a different place where nurses work, and so you work under an already registered nurse, and she kind of helps you take care of patients while you're learning what they do every day.
So it's basically like an internship.
Kind of an
But
internship.
you don't get paid.
Don't get paid.
What was your first job as a nurse?
When I graduated in 1996, I had worked at Riley Hospital for a year as a student nurse, which I did get paid for that. That was totally separate from school.
Yeah.
And they told me for a year, you'll have a job here when you graduate, don't worry about it. So I was very excited. I thought, this is where I want to work.
Yeah.
And then May came and they were like, we're not going to hire anyone for several months. And so that really scared me. So I was sad that that kind of fell through the cracks. And
Yeah.
so I started just looking for other jobs. And one weekend I got out the Sunday paper and applied any place that was looking for a registered nurse, and 2 places called me back. And the one place that offered me a job was the Putnamville Correctional Facility,
Yeah.
which is a prison in Indiana, which I didn't even know there were prison nurses.
Huh.
We didn't talk about that in nursing school.
Yeah.
So that was my first job, and I actually worked in a totally male institution with thousands of prisoners milling around. And I was a brand new nurse, so it was kind of scary.
So it was a little scary.
A lot scary.
Yeah. Where all have you worked?
So I worked in the prison. That lasted 1 year. I moved to Colorado for 5 years, and that's where I got into surgery. When I went to Colorado and interviewed, I interviewed for 2 spots, and they offered me a job in surgery, which was what I really wanted to do. I thought that's really what I
Yeah,
wanted
you wanted to
do.
be in surgery rather than in a
in surgery
correctional facility.
versus a prison
Yeah.
or being a floor nurse where you're taking care of patients.
Yeah.
So they offered me a job in surgery, and I lasted 5 years in Colorado there. Moved back to Indiana, and I worked at Methodist Hospital for 5 years. I did lots of brain and spine surgery there, which was really exciting. Lots of technology, lots of sick patients, lots of high-tech stuff. And then 8 years ago, they opened the Hancock Surgery Center here in Greenfield, Indiana, and I started working there.
And where do you work now?
Currently, I work at the Hancock Surgery Center. I've been working there for 8 years. Probably the thing that I like the most about my job is I get to take care of people in the community that I live in. And the other thing I like about my job is that it's about 2 minutes from my house. So the drive to work every morning and when I get off work is really fast.
So you don't have to go through any rush hours?
No
or-
rush hour traffic.
It's just straight home, straight there and straight back.
Exactly.
What degrees do you have that allow you to be a nurse?
Well, after you get your degree, I have a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, which is a 4-year program. There's also an associate's degree, which is a 2-year program.
Yeah.
But most hospitals these days are requiring a bachelor's degree, which is the 4 years. And after you graduate, you have to sit for the state board, which is a test that you have to take and pass, which proves that you're efficient. So once you pass the test, you're then a licensed professional
So
with the
that-
state of Indiana.
So they make you take a test to make sure that you actually know what you're doing and that you just didn't go through the steps and motions of it.
Yes, and sometimes the test can be over, it can be math, it can be science, it can be taking care of patients. It's a random standardized test that they give to every graduate.
Oh, okay. So what are the different kinds of nurses and what do they do differently from each other?
I'll start at the very beginning. First, there's a licensed practical nurse. They're called LPNs. They're more of a technical nurse, and it's a shorter degree. You get your degree quicker. You work under a registered nurse usually, and you don't have as much freedom. And then there's the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, which are RNs. Those can be 2-year or 4-year college degrees, and they're the nurses that, most of the nurses that you would see in a doctor's office, or if you're inpatient in a hospital, they're the ones that are doing most of the actual work, taking care of patients hands-on. You can also get your master's degree in nursing if you want to be a teacher, or most managers of a facility or a unit have their master's degree. And then there's also nurse practitioners, which can actually prescribe medicine, and those are the nurses that you would see at your doctor's office. Like, they take care of patients with a doctor, so they are writing prescriptions under
Oh,
the
okay.
doctor's license.
So do they like recommend what prescription to give the doctor, or do they just know like?
Nurse practitioners can prescribe medicine, and they've taken lots of pharmacology classes.
College. So, yeah. So they took like the pharmaceutical classes.
Yes.
All those.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What are some struggles and difficulties you face being a nurse?
One thing about nursing is that it's a very physical job. You're often on your feet for long hours. You don't get to sit down a lot sometimes. Some days you don't get to eat lunch. Some days are really busy. Another thing that I've noticed, which I do better now, is when I was younger
Yeah.
and had smaller kids at home,
Mhm.
I would take care of patients all day, and then I would go home and take care of little kids all day, and I never really took care of myself. So that was a struggle that I had when I was younger. Now that my
Yeah.
kids are a little older and take a little better care of themselves, I can do stuff on my own, like I can exercise and do stuff that I enjoy.
Yeah. So it's just not having to take care of more people and coming home to take care of more people.
Yes, I have a little more freedom now that my kids are older.
Yeah. And what do you enjoy about being a nurse? What's your favorite parts about it?
Probably my favorite part about being a nurse is helping people who are nervous or scared. I like talking to people, and so I like to distract them with conversations. So I'll ask them questions about their lives or their kids or their family or what they do. That's always a good thing, and I like getting to know people.
So, what character qualities do nurses have to have?
Some good things that nurses require, first of all, you have to be organized because
Yeah.
there's a lot going on any given day. You have to be a team player. Where I work with a team of doctors, surgeons, anesthesiologists. We have surgical techs that work with us, and then you add patients into that mix and other nurses who are getting the patients ready or recovering the patients. So to be on a team like that, you have to be able to get along with lots of different personalities.
All right, and that is all for now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm here with Sarah Robinson today. Thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, how long have you been a part of drama here at GCHS?
Oh, I have been in GC drama since my first show freshman year, which was the rookie show.
So you've been in 4 years of drama.
All 4 years.
Awesome. Now, how many productions is that?
Ooh. I did my first show freshman year, and I haven't stopped doing it since this very moment. I have been in every show since. So
You
that
haven't
is
missed any?
not a single one.
So how many is that?
That is every production that we've done here, plus 3 regional performances and comedy sports. So I would range it somewhere between like 17 shows altogether with this.
So you're going to have around 19 or 20 by the time musical's done.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have 20 under your belt. That's awesome. Now, the next show that features only senior students is going to be your directorial debut, right?
Yes. Well, I've directed one act before, but this is my first like big show that
Right.
I'm excited about.
And you've been previously just acting in hair and makeup, right?
Mm-hmm. I took on head of hair my freshman year and kind of flagged that away and focused more on acting in the department.
And this is a first for me too because I'm going to be acting in this show. It's my first time I've ever tried to act ever, so I'm very excited about that. Now, I'm curious to know what made you want to direct this particular senior show. Did you, out of all the decisions, or out of all the shows that you could have picked, did you pick this one for any particular reason?
Well, if you've been keeping up with GC Theater, we kind of have like a spooky theme going on this year.
Yeah, right.
We have the Addams Family coming up, we had the Crucible, and so this kind of just tied in. And I was also suggested from a few friends, they're like, this is a show that we've been aching to do. Actually, graduated student Gage Williamson actually pulled me aside and said, this would be an awesome show to see the seniors do.
Right.
And I agreed. I have looked into the book, I've looked into the movie, and our script is far more like the movie, not the book. There are some differences, but I'm still excited about it.
That's awesome. And tell us about the production and what it is and about the castings, because you have some experienced people this time, but you also have some newer people in there as well.
What my vision for this was, because it's the senior show, seniors that have been here the whole time, for them, this is their moment to kind of just do what they've wanted to do and be a character that they haven't been able to be yet. And for the students that are doing it for their first time, this is like the moment where you probably haven't been able to be on stage before throughout high school, and this is like your obvious moment, like, I'm a senior, this is the senior show, I get to do this, this is my time, this is the seniors' time for them.
Who are some of the actors that are in this particular play?
Well, we have some usual faces, as in Harrison Kern. We also have Cayman Lapierre, and some Austin Springman, Cassie Stone, and then we have some new faces like Emily Stratman and yourself.
Yes.
And Rachel Sherman is a large role this show, so that's very exciting.
And it's very interesting because Emily and I are both in publicity, and this is both our first time acting. So it's very coincidental, but I think we're just very excited about this production because one, you're directing, so we know it's going to be good, and it's also an amazing story, one of the best that I've read, and I've read a few. So yeah, that's why I'm very glad to be a part of this.
I'm also very excited to say that Gabe Nicholas is also in it, and Chase Ellers. We're still to be announcing one of the parts.
Which part is that?
That would be Bloor. Officer Bloor.
Okay. And what made you pick And Then There Were None rather than other scary stories? I mean, I know it's a more famous one, and it is very engaging in that it is mysterious and it keeps you on the edge of your feet. But what made you choose this over? Did you have any others in mind?
No, not really. Once I learned that I was doing the senior show, that was something suggested to me, and I just kind of went with it. I also like that it's very popular, it's very well known, and I want the people that know the show to come and see it and get excited about it.
Plus, it's going to help us with publicity, because if people already know the story, they're going to love to see it reenacted on the stage here at their local high school. So
by their senior class of 2016.
Now, what do you hope to achieve for this production? What do you want to get done, especially? What do you want to do?
Well, for our sake, I want to see our set be very beautiful, very large.
Right.
I want it to be kind of like our midwinters, where we go above and beyond to make this wonderful setting for our characters. I also want to see our characters blossom into what they are, and I want to see, the thread bangers, our costume department, make beautiful costumes. I just want it to be a show to remember.
So you just want to make it as big and as good as possible. Now, how do you want this to be different from other productions? How do you want to make it your own, in that you could tell that you had your input on it?
I want this to be the seniors thing. This is the seniors project. I want the entire class, not even just the seniors that are involved, but the seniors that are uninvolved, to get excited to come see it and come support their fellow seniors and be like, this is something that we did together. This is something that we're kind of just showing everyone, here are your seniors on stage, literally in front of you in the spotlight.
Yeah, and it's going to be a final bow for the seniors here, but also we get to come together for the musical later, so it's a final bow for everyone of the grade.
I will be crying.
Yeah. And what do you think is going to inspire you the most out of all the things while you're making this?
I think it will just be kind of that final bow idea. This is my last time directing. This is, besides the musical, the last time a lot of those seniors will be able to do just a straight play, and I guess it's just always inspiring for me to do things like this. I get very excited to make a masterpiece for a performance.
When do you think that the performance will be? What is the time frame that you have scheduled right now?
Right now, we're aiming for March 11th.
That weekend?
It's only going to actually be one performance.
Only one performance? We're not doing all three?
Nope.
No?
Due to other students doing things throughout the weekend, that's the one day we have before spring break.
Oh.
Because I know we don't want to extend it before.
And where will it be?
It will be here. Right on
here?
this stage where we're
And that's
standing.
810 North Broadway, right?
Mhm.
Awesome. In Greenfield.
In Greenfield,
Yep.
Indiana.
And how much are tickets going to be? Are they going to be 9 like usual for adults and
Um,
7 for students?
I'm not actually sure about the ticket price yet, but I'm going to try to speak with Jacobs to see if seniors can get a discount for coming.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that. I think it's a pretty good idea, actually.
Mhm.
Now, thank you for coming in today. I'm
Thank you.
very glad you came in. I'm looking very forward to the production. I know it's going to be great because you're directing it. Thank you.